Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to spend some time on configure the OSPF, and I will begin on OSPF. Then secondly, we're going to configure the sub interfaces, which is something very helpful when you are about to configure the mini roller on the stick. After, I'm going to show you how to configure the loopback address on the roller, following by the static route, how to set up a static route. And then finally, I walk you through how to set up a DHCP from the roller and how to obtain the DHCP address from another roller. Let's begin. Just here is our topology. So I need explanation to make sure that you are on the same page. This, for example, represents the way I make my topology. The F00 is like the interface that represents each of the interface around on the topology, and the X is representing the VLAN number, and the X is representing the VLAN number, and following by the host number. So if you see here, all the address in this topology will begin on 10.1, following by the VLAN number, and the X represents the host number. And our topology will be all the subnet mask will be /24. So as you can see, I have a different VLAN here, VLAN 12. I have a VLAN 235. I have a VLAN 23, VLAN 14, VLAN 16, VLAN 67, and VLAN 34. So to begin, we're going to work in this VLAN here on OSPF. Our roller number 3 has already been configured with the OSPF, but now we need to neighbor range with the roller number 4, which is here. OR is the number. So I need to work on, first of all, we begin on the roller 4 to do the OSPF configuration. Let's begin. Here our terminal PORI, which is here, which is known. So I put it here on the top, then we can have a space to see how we're working. So we're working this section. So I go directly to the terminal router 4. If I select the router 4, now we are inside the router 4. And just to make sure if we have netboard on the show IPF, I will do quickly the command show IP routes. As you can see, they are directly connected, but we don't have any OSPF configured in this router. And if I type show IP OSPF neighbor, you will notice that there is no neighbor. So we have nothing particularly has done yet. So to do that, I will walk you to do that. I will go to the config terminal first in the configuration terminal mode. And from here, we're going to type router OSPF, following by the number. The number, it should be the number of our VLAN. In this case, our VLAN is number 34. So I will type here number 34 and press enter. And in this stage, we need to follow the statement of the network. To do that, I need to type network. And the network in this part, remember I said earlier, all the network begin by number 10.1, following by the VLAN number and the host. So 10.1.34.4 and subnet. The wide card mask on the subnet, remember, is like the reverse of the subnet mask on the OSPF. So I will do 0.0.0.255. Now remember, we should not forget something. We need to match the area with the other router. The area in this topology is area 0. Area 0. And then press enter. Make sure area 0. Okay, we put O instead of 0. Now, if you see this message, this pop-up is not an error. This shows that we get the adjacency between two rollers. So they are neighboring now actually. So this loading state on full loading shows that we are correctly adjacent. We have an adjacent and we are neighboring another roller. So to make sure that we can check it, we can go now on the privilege exec mode and type show IP route. You will see now, you can see now we have the O. This O stands for OSPF. If you look on the router table on the top, you will see here, you will notice that this O here means OSPF. So now that shows that our OSPF has been successfully enabled. And then to make sure also we have neighbor, we can type the command show IP OSPF neighbor and press enter. And you can see we are neighboring with the router number 3. This is the address of the router 3. So we have successfully done the OSPF. Well, now let's move on. So our following step will be to configure the sub interface. I'll show you how to configure the sub interface. So to do that, here, for example, we have this router number 4. We have a fast internet 0/1 here, and we have a fast internet 00. So if we go to the router 1, the router 4 first, to check and type show IP route interface brief, show IP interface brief. I can see the fast internet 0/0 and fast internet 0/1, which is F is fast internet 1/0 is unassigned. Fast internet 0/1 is unassigned. There is no IP address. Fast internet 0/1, there is a 10.1.24.4 address, which is good, which is in this line of the VLAN. And if we go on the top, we have fast internet 0/0.14, which is configured also successfully. But when we go to the router 6, to check also, to make sure that we have all the interface configured well, show IP interface brief. So if we look here, we see the router on fast internet 0/1.67 as the address, and fast internet 16.10.116 has also the IP address successfully configured. If we go also on the router 1, just to make sure, show IP interface brief. Show IP interface brief. We have fast Ethernet 1/0, which is configured, that is good. And we have fast Ethernet 0/1, which is also configured. Fast Ethernet 0/0, which is configured. And so we have fast Ethernet 0/0, which is configured and has an assigned IP addresses. And we can see here the fast Ethernet 0/0, which is here, is unassigned. There is no IP address, but fast Ethernet 00.12 has an IP address, and this is the sub interface. And if we look around on fast Ethernet 0/1.14, it has also the IP address, which is good, and the fast Ethernet 0. So we have all the IP address configured well. This is good. But when we go on the topology, we look on the fast Ethernet R5, R5. That is different. This is another story. So when we go to the fast Ethernet R5, and we type conft show IP interface brief. There is nothing. So you can see we have nothing configured yet. We have no interfaces, there is nothing. So what we need to do now, we need to configure the sub interface here from this roller. The first internet 00 need to have a IP address, which is going to be on the same VLAN of 35. So to do that, I'll go back to the terminal and type interface fast ethernet 0/0. And remember, if we look on the topology well, you can see fast ethernet 00 following by dot and number 235. Remember, if you don't put the dots, you get an error. So dot 235 and enter. And from here, I have to type encapsulation .1q, and then following by the number of the VLAN, which is the case, encapsulation .1q following by the number of the VLAN. Then now we are okay, but we're not going to set up any IP address. This is going to be on the next step of our demo. So this was just to show you how to create the sub interface. So in this case, we can put IP addresses if we wanted, like 10.1.235.4 example. This is just an example. And then I will put the subnet mask, it will be okay. But how are we not going to do that now? Because this is another part of demo. So this is already done for the sub interface. If we go now, we tap show IP interface brief, you should see our sub interface now appear. As you can see, before the table was empty. Now we have the sub interface, which is here, but the IP address is unassigned. And I say we're going to do that on another part of the demo. So now let's do our third part, is the how to configure a loopback addresses. So we are on the line number 3, loopback addresses. So here, most of the loopback address on the order has been already set up. But here in the router 6, there is no loopback address yet. So we can double check it to make sure. I go to the router number 6. This is the terminal, and type, make sure we are on the router, and type show IP interface brief. As you can see, we have the addresses on the fast Ethernet. We have serial, but we don't have any loopback. So there is no loopback. We can make it on big screen. We can see there is no loopback address here. So none at all. So we need to configure the loopback address. To do that, simply let's make some space. Go to the terminal, configuration terminal, and interface loopback. Remember here, the loopback could be any number from 0 to billion. So loopback number 0. I choose mine, number 0, and then IP addresses 6. Remember, our loopback address here should be this number, should match this number as we put in the topology that they ask, number 6. So IP address will be 6.6.6.6, and following by the subnet mask 255.255. 0. Okay, so that we done. So there is another thing I need to show you. Like if you want to assign multiple IP address on the loopback on the same number of loopback, like example loopback 0, would have what they call the secondary loopback address. To do that is very simple. You need just to repeat the same command. So I will make it easier by tapping the up arrow. So here I will put secondary and make sure we change our address because it should not match. So I'll put it inside this side 06.6.6.7, press enter. Now I have a secondary address. I can keep doing many address until unlimited. So I can put it, for example, the following is age. I can keep going until I reach, I don't know, whatever I want. So but it's going to be on the same loopback address with different number of IP addresses on the same loopback number. So that's the way it works. So now we have our loopback address created. So that's all for the loopback addresses. But now we need to go, now we're going to talk about the static routes. So if I talk about the static route in the part 4 of our demonstration, I will show you an example. I have a router 1 and router 6. I will be able to, I can ping the router 1 from router 6. I will be able to do that without problem. But by the address on the fast internet 1/0. But I want to be able to reach the loopback address, which is here. The loopback address is 1.1.1.1. So we can try it. We can see how it's going. So let's type ping and that 10.1 dot 16.1, which is no problem, we can reach it. But at the other end, when I try the ping 1.1.1.1, it won't work. It won't work because it cannot reach this network. So to be able to reach it, we can do what they call static routes. We can create a static route. So to do that, I will need to tell this line to reach the line 1.1. You need to go to this line and you can reach the line 1.1. So to do that, it's a simple. We need just to go to the config terminal mode and type IP route, following by the number of the route where we would want to go is the 1.1.1.1 and the subnet mask 255.255 all the way to 255. And now we're going to go, we have to go to 1.1.255 to the direction, this direction, which is going to be this address. Then that 1.16.1. And we're done. So now if I go back on the exec mode, I want to try to ping the loopback. It should work. Let's do that. As you can see, we are able to reach it without problem. So and the final step of our demo, which is going to be the DHCP, how to configure a DHCP on the router and to assign an IP address automatically to another router. So we're going to talk about the DHCP. From here in our topology, as you noticed earlier, we set up all the IP address on all the router, except on the router 5. And we notice on the router 5, the IP address was not assigned, and I didn't assign that yet. So this is the time you're going to work on it. So what I'm going to do, I'm trying to do the router 2 need to be able to create a DHCP pool, which is going to be able to assign the router 5 automatically IP address. So we don't need to put any address on the router 5. All will be done from the router 2. And to do that, we need just to begin now. by going on the topology as you see. So if I go on the router 2 on the terminal, make sure we switch on the router 2, and then configuration terminal, and from there I need just to type the command, which is so simple. We need to create a DHCP pool, and we have to assign the name of the DHCP pool. So let's begin. IP DHCP pool, and following by the name of the pool. In my case, I will be under the VLAN to 235. So I choose just my name, the name of my pool, VLAN 235 in my case, but it depends. You can choose whatever you want. In my case, I choose that. It's more easier for me. So I put pool VLAN. I write it with the cap letter, VLAN 235, which is the name of my pool. Now I need to put the network of the pool. Network. So it's gonna be 10.1.235.0, and following by the subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and press enter. Well, that's it for to configure the DHCP to assign the IP address for the other router. This is the part that's been done on the router too, but we are not done yet. Now we need to make sure our router will be able to receive its IP address automatically by the IP DHCP server. So to do that, in the topology, this is the router 5 that need to get automatically IP address from the router 2. So we need to go to the router 5 now, and now from there, okay, so I'll go to the config terminal, and from there I need just to go to the interface, sub interface. Remember, interface, sub interface fast 0/0, and by putting the dot following by the number of the VLAN, and press enter. And from here we need just to say IP address DHCP. That's the only thing we need to do. IP address DHCP. So, which practically we are about to tell this router, you need to get your IP address from the DHCP server. And our DHCP server has been configured as the router 2. So it should be able to get its DHCP address from the same network of router 2. And we press enter. While we do that, we should see a pop-up appear. As you see, this pop-up is not an error. This shows that the DHCP6 address has been assigned, and you can see our IP address. So it gave the IP address of 10.1.235.1, as you can see, and the mask of the 255.255.250. That means that has been configured successfully. So if we click on end, we should be able now, if we tap show IP interface brief, to see our. And so here it gives me many stuff, even the unassigned. Let's make it easier. I tap show interface, IP interface brief, show IP interface brief, and make it shorter, pipe. And we're going to exclude the unassigned. Show IP interface brief, and then pipe, exclude, okay, show IP interface brief. So we're missing something here. So I need to type show IP. Let me see multiple commands just to make sure. So show IP interface brief, and pipe exclude the unassigned. Okay. Show IP interface brief. Okay, so if we look here, we can see the address on fast Ethernet 10.1.235.1 has been assigned for the fast Ethernet. We will be able also to ping this address if we are from the router tool. I can try it now. So from the router tool, I should be able to ping 10.1.235.1 should work. As you can see, we get the response. As well, if I go to the router tree, so from here, I should be able also to ping it as well. So let's go to the terminal router tree by pinging 10.1.235.1. As you can see, we successfully ping both way. So I can do it many times. I can even repeat the ping, let's say 200 times. As you can see, the ping successfully working and our topology is just working fine. So, so we did it. So, well, that's it for this demonstration.